Hi everyone. In the last two videos, we have discussed about management of current assets, that is, management of cash and marketable securities. Now, in this present video, I am going to explain about management of receivables. So, here, receivables is also one of the component of current assets. So, management of receivables. Here, introduction. Receivables constitute a significant portion of the total current assets of the business next after inventories. See here, after inventories, receivable constitute a significant portion of the current assets of the business. See here, in every business, normally in current assets, the maximum portion may be occupied by inventories. So after the inventories, the second largest position or the portion may be occupied by receivables. So here, that is why the reason receivables constitutes a significant portion of the total current assets of the business next after inventories. And the second one, they are a direct consequence of trade credit. They are direct consequence of trade credit, which has become an essential marketing tool in modern business. Which has become essential marketing tools in modern business. See here, what are the receivables actually? So here, the receivables are the direct consequence of trade credit. So generally, in normal course of business, every business they will allow credit sales. So here, if the goods are sold on credit basis, so generally the debtors will arise. So here, the debtors here called as receivables. Here, the debtors here called as receivables, or we can say that bills receivables. So here, that is why the reason they are the direct consequence of trade credit. So here, they may be arises due to the goods sold on credit basis. So that is why the reason it is called as trade credit. It is the direct consequence of trade credit, and this is most probably in the present scenario, it is a, I mean, that is called trade credit, or goods must be sold on credit. It is an important marketing tool for the modern business. Receivables result from credit sales. A concern is required to allow credit sales in order to expand its sales volume. It is not possible to sell goods on cash basis only. See here, generally every business organization make their sales on two basis, that is on cash basis and another one is credit basis. So here, if cash basis, if they sold on cash basis, there is no need, I mean, there is no, we can say that receivables. But if it makes on credit basis, so then there is a receivables. So that is why the reason receivables result from credit sales. So when they will happen means they will be takes place when there are credit sales. A concern is required to allow credit sales in order to expand its sales volume. See here, in order to increase the business sales or the quantity of sales, so here it is required to offer credit sales. So here, it is not at all possible to sell all the goods on cash basis. సో క్యాష్ బేసిస్లోనే మొత్తం గూడ్స్ని సేల్ చేయడం అనేది పాసిబుల్ కాదు. సో అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్లో ఏం చేస్తామంటే మనం సేల్స్ని ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసుకోవడానికి, సో హియర్ వి విల్, దట్ మీన్స్ బిజినెస్ విల్ అలో క్రెడిట్ సేల్స్ ఆల్సో. హియర్, మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ రిసీవబుల్స్. See here, receivables represents amount owned to the firm as a result of sale of goods or service in the ordinary course of business. So receivables represent amount owned to the firm as a result of sale of goods or service in the ordinary course of business. So generally receivables means it is nothing but that is the amount that we should collect from our debtors for the sale of goods on credit basis. So this will be happens in the normal course of business. These are claims against the firm against its customers, part of current assets. So here generally receivables are the one of the part of current assets. So here this is these are the claims against the customers, and it is a customers and it is a part of current assets also. Receivables known as account receivables, trade receivables, customer receivables, or book debts. So here the receivables are popularly known as accounts receivable, trade receivables, customer receivables, or book debts. So receivables అనేది మనం ఏ పేరుతోటైనా పిలవచ్చు. either it may be accounts receivables or trade receivables or customer receivables or book debts. The receivables carried for the customers. The period of credit and extent of receivables depends upon the credit policy followed by the firm. See here, the period of credit and the extent of receivables depends upon the credit policy followed by the firm. So here the credit period and the terms and conditions in the receivables management may be different from one firm to another firm. So it depends upon the situation, or it depends upon the agreement between customer and we can say that seller, or we can say that business and the customer. See here, purpose or objectives of receivable. So actually మనం receivables, what is the purpose or what are the objectives? So what is the main intention of receivables? See here, the first one, accounts receivables are created because of credit sales, such as purpose of receivables is directly connected with the objectives of making credit sales. The objectives of receivables are as follows. So here these are the three main purposes or objectives of credit sales. The first one is achieving growth in sales. See here, to increase our sales. See here, to increase our sales, normally the business should offer credit sales to their customers. So then only there is a possibility to increase our sales quantity. So here to increase our growth, or we can say that to achieve growth in sales, so here the business should offer credit sales to the customers. So then only there is a possibility of achieving growth in sales. So to achieve growth in sales, here every business offers credit sales to their customers. And the second one is achieving growth in profits. See here, increase in sales results in higher profits for the firm, not only because of increase in volume of sales, but also because of the firm charging a higher margin of profit on credit sales as compared to cash sales. See here, in the first point we discussed that achieving growth in sales. So if the sales are increases, automatically the profits also will be increases. So here the second point is achieving growth in profits. So when we increases our sales, so that leads ultimately for the increase in profits. So not only increase in sales increases the profits, so here but also when here business, when they offers credit sales to their customers, then they will charge high prices for the credit sales when compared to cash basis sales. So this is normal action, that is a firm can charge more price when it offer at credit sales when compared to క్యాష్ సేల్స్. సో మనం క్రెడిట్ సేల్స్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఫామ్ అనేది నార్మల్గా కొంత ఎక్కువ ప్రైస్ అనేది ఛార్జ్ చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి సో హియర్ ద ఎక్స్ట్రా ప్రైస్ ఆర్ ద ఎక్సెస్ ఆఫ్ ప్రైస్ will lead for the achieving growth in profits. So that is the second one. And third one, that is meeting competition. So here the business, I mean the present business world is with huge competition. So a firm may have to resort to granting of credit facilities to its customers because of similar facilities being granted by the competing firms to avoid the loss of sale from customers who would buy elsewhere if they did not receive the expected credit. See here, the important thing is we have to catch the customers. So when we can catch the customers means when there is a offer of credit sales, because the other competitors are offering credit sales. If our business does not offer the same credit sales for the customers, then the customers, they may go for competitors business. So that is why the reason. So to meet the competition, so here it is required to offer credit sales. So here all the credit sales, they may lead for the management of receivables. So that is why the reason here this is the purpose of or the objectives of receivables. So here the purpose of receivables is to increase or to achieve growth in sales and to achieve growth in profits and to achieve, or we can say that to meet the competition in the market. So these are the purposes or objectives of receivables. Next, costs of maintaining receivables. So here in the management of receivables, so here there are several costs may be incurred. So here the allowing of credit to customers means giving of funds for the customer's use. The concern incurs the following costs on maintaining receivables. So generally we are allowing credit to customers is nothing but we are giving an offer to the customers to use our funds. సో మన ఫండ్స్ని యూస్ చేసుకోమని వాళ్ళకు మనం ఆఫర్ ఇస్తున్నాం. ఎట్లా? బై అలోవింగ్ క్రెడిట్ సేల్స్ టు ద కస్టమర్స్. సో ద కన్సర్న్ ఆర్ ద ఫర్మ్ ఇంకర్స్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ కాస్ట్స్ on maintaining receivables. So here the following different costs may be incurred for every firm while they are maintaining receivables. The first one is cost of financing receivables. So here cost of financing receivables means generally we are allowing customers to use our funds by offering credit sales. సో మనం జనరల్గా ఏం చేస్తామంటే వీఆర్ బ్రింగింగ్ గూడ్స్ అండ్ సర్వీసెస్ అండ్ ద సేమ్ గూడ్స్ అండ్ సర్వీసెస్ వీఆర్ ఆఫరింగ్ టు అవర్ కస్టమర్స్ ఆన్ ద బేసిస్ ఆఫ్ క్రెడిట్. సో బట్ వీఆర్ బ్రింగింగ్ ఆల్ దోస్ గూడ్స్ అండ్ సర్వీసెస్ బై మేకింగ్ ఇమీడియట్ పేమెంట్. సో దట్ మీన్స్ మనం అక్కడ పే చేసి ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, మనం గూడ్స్ని తీసుకొస్తున్నాం. ద సేమ్ గూడ్స్ వీఆర్ ఆఫరింగ్ టు అవర్ కస్టమర్స్ ఆన్ ద బేసిస్ ఆఫ్ క్రెడిట్ మీన్స్ సో హియర్ వీఆర్ గివింగ్ అన్ ఆపర్చునిటీ టు యూజ్ అవర్ బిజినెస్ ఫండ్స్ by their customers in the form of credit sales. So to purchase our goods and services on the basis of cash, we need finance. So here the finance may be in the form of shareholder fund or maybe long term financing, and it may be through retained earnings. So here the concern incur some cost for collecting funds which ఫైనాన్స్ రిసీవబుల్స్. సో ప్రతి ఫామ్కి ఇవన్నీ అంటే మనం ఫైనాన్స్ని టు గ్యాదర్ ద ఫండ్స్ ఆర్ టు గెట్ ద సోర్సెస్ ఫ్రమ్ డిఫరెంట్ టు గెట్ ద ఫైనాన్షియల్ సోర్సెస్ ఫ్రమ్ డిఫరెంట్ వేస్. సో హియర్ దే మే ఇంకర్ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కాస్ట్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ if they go for long term finance, so that means long term loan. So here the long term loan which is incurs the interest rate. So here the interest rate is here cost of financing receivables. So here the cost of financing receivables is one of the costs of maintaining receivables. And the second one is cost of collection. Here see, A proper collection of receivables is essential for receivables management. See here, a proper collection policy we have to make after making the credit sales. Here what we have to do, we have to do a proper collection of receivables. So here the proper collection of receivables is very important aspect in receivables management. The customers who do not pay the money during the stipulated credit period are sent reminders for early payments. సో ఎవరైతే పేమెంట్స్ ప్రాపర్గా చేయరో వాళ్ళకి మనం ఏం చేయాలి, వీ హ్యావ్ టు సెండ్ రిమైండర్స్. సో మీ ఏమంటారు మెచ్యూరిటీ పీరియడ్ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి యూ హ్యావ్ టు పే, మీరు మీ బిల్ని మీరు పే చేయండి అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళకి రిమైండర్స్ పంపివ్వడం. లేకపోతే సమ్ పర్సన్స్ మే హ్యావ్ టు బి సెంట్ ఫర్ కలెక్టింగ్ దీస్ అకౌంట్స్ ఆర్ దీస్ అమౌంట్స్. లేకపోతే కొంతమంది ఏజెంట్స్ని మనం కలెక్షన్ ఏజెంట్స్ లేకపోతే కలెక్షన్ బాయ్స్ని మనం ఆ డిఫరెంట్ బిజినెస్ హౌసెస్కి పంపివ్వడం ఫర్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ కలెక్షన్. అండ్ in this process, so here in this process all we can say that in this process some of the costs may be incurred. So these costs are called as collection costs, which a concern is generally required to incur. So here to send reminders or for the purpose of collection, if you send collection agents to the business houses, so all these incurs some collection, I mean some cost of collection. So here the business these costs are called as collection costs, and which is a general required to incur. So these are the general expenditure which are required to incur in the process of maintaining receivables, that is called cost of collection. And see here, not only the making credit sales. So after making the credit sales, here the huge responsibility of the each business is how to collect the receivables from their customers in a proper way. So here to collect the amount from the customers, so here the different strategies may be followed by the firm. So here the different strategies may be incurred some cost. So here the cost is called as cost of collection. And third one is bad debts. See, some customers may fail to pay the amounts due to towards them. సో జనరల్ ఇన్ బిజినెస్లో ఏమవుతుందంటే అందరూ కస్టమర్స్ కూడా ప్రాపర్గా టైంకి అమౌంట్ పే చేయొచ్చు, చేయకపోవచ్చు. సమ్ కస్టమర్స్ దే మే ఫెయిల్ టు పే ఆన్ ఇన్ టైమ్. సో కొంతమంది పే చేయరు. పే చేయనప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ద అమౌంట్స్ విచ్ ద కస్టమర్స్ ఫెయిల్ టు పే ఆర్ నోన్ యాజ్ బ్యాడ్ డెట్స్. సో ఎవరైతే అమౌంట్ పే చేయరో సో వాటిని ఏమని పిలుస్తామంటే మనం బ్యాడ్ డెట్స్ అంటాం. సో ఏ కన్సర్న్ మే బీ ఏబుల్ టు రెడ్యూస్ బ్యాడ్ డెట్స్ ద ఎఫిషియంట్ కలెక్షన్ మెషినరీ, బట్ వన్ కెనాట్ ఆల్ టుగెదర్ రూల్ అవుట్ దిస్ కాస్ట్. సో మనం ఎంత స్ట్రిక్ట్గా క్రెడిట్ పాలసీని మెయింటైన్ చేసినా సో బ్యాడ్ డెట్స్ అనేది ఎనీ బిజినెస్ ఫర్మ్ ఇట్ కెనాట్ అవాయిడ్ బ్యాడ్ డెట్స్. సో హియర్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ అవర్ credit policy the bad debts may be less. If a firm follow a strict credit policy then the bad debts amount will be less. If they don't follow the if they follow the lenient credit policy then the bad debts amount will be more. But here the cost of incur of bad debts will be common for every business, but the size of bad debts may be different from one firm to another firm based on their implementation of credit policy. So bad debts means we can say that the default of customers or the customers are unable to make the payment properly. So this amount is called as bad debts. So bad debts also one of the loss for the business. So these are the three kinds of costs for the maintaining receivables. And see factors influencing the size of receivables. See here what is the amount of receivables for that particular business. So what is the amount of receivables for a particular business, how we can say. So here what are the determinant factors are there which influences the size of receivables. See here besides sales a number of other factors also influence the size of receivables. The following factors directly and indirectly affect the size of receivables. So here generally the size of receivables depends upon credit sales. Okay, so apart from credit sales or besides credit sales, the following factors also directly and indirectly affect the size of receivables. So here let us discuss one by one. The first one is size of credit sales. See here, the size of credit sales. If the credit sales are more, then the size of receivables will be more. If the credit sales are less, then the size of receivables also less. So here size of credit sales is one of the important factor of size of receivables. ఓకే, సో సైజ్ ఆఫ్ క్రెడిట్ సేల్స్ అనేది ఎక్కువనే అనుకోండి, దెన్ ద సైజ్ ఆఫ్ రిసీవబుల్స్ విల్ బి మోర్. సో ఇఫ్ ద క్రెడిట్ సేల్స్ ఆర్ లెస్, దెన్ ద సైజ్ ఆఫ్ రిసీవబుల్స్ ఆల్సో విల్ బి లెస్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్, credit policies. See here, a firm with strict credit policy, a firm with strict credit policy will have a low size of receivables, while a firm with liberal credit policy will be increasing the figure. So based on the credit policy also, here the size of receivables will be depend. So a firm which is following strict credit policy, then the size of receivables will be less, while a firm which is following the lenient credit policy, then the size of receivables will be more. So here credit policies which influences the size of receivables. And the next one, terms of trade. See here, based on the terms and conditions of the business, so here the size of receivables will be depend. So here the period of credit allowed and the rates of discount given are linked with receivables. So here the period of credit allowed, suppose if the credit period allowed is more, then the size of receivables also will be more. If the credit period allowed is less, then the size of receivables will be less. So that is why the reason here the credit period allowed and rates of discount given, so rates of discount given are linked with receivables. So if credit period allowed is more, then receivables also will be more. So here two factors, that is two terms, that is credit period and discount given. Suppose if the discount given, for example a 10% discount is given, then the receivables will be less. If the discount is more, then the receivables will be less. For example, for a business which is offering huge discount for the cash sales, so generally if you allow huge discounts on the cash sales, normally the customers will purchase on the basis of cash to avail the discount facility. So here a good discount facility will lead less amount of or less size of receivables, or a less discount will lead for the more size of receivables. So here the two terms, that is credit period and discount allowed, also one of the influence factor for the size of receivables. And the next one is expansion plans. See here, when a concern wants to expand its activities, it will have to enter new markets. So if the firm wants to expand their activities, now it is compulsory to enter into the new markets. To attract customers, it will give incentives in the form of credit facilities. So to enter into the new market, to attract the customers, so here the firm should give the credit facilities. So here the period of credit can be reduced when the firm is able to get permanent customers. So when there is a possibility of getting permanent customers, so here the credit period can be reduced. In the early stages of expansion, more credit becomes essential and size of receivables will be more. So here in the process of expansion of our business, so if the firm wants to expand their operations in different markets, then it is compulsory to offer them credit sales, or it is compulsory to offer the credit sales for their customers, so which leads increase in the size of receivables. So in the initial stage of expansion process, so here the size of receivables will be more. Once our permanent customers are there, once our permanent customers are created, then it is able to reduce the credit period. So until here, the in the process of expansion, the firm should offer credit sales, so which leads ultimately the size of increase in the size of receivables. And the next one is relation with profits. See, credit sales, if they increases, automatically receivables also increases. Here see, if the receivables increases due to the sales, it generates automatically huge profits. Not only due to the credit sales, see here, when a firm is offering goods and services on the basis of credit basis, normally they may charge high prices when compared to cash sales. So here that is why the reason it is relation with profits. So here to increase the profits, so here the size of receivables will be increased. To increase the profits, the size of receivables will be increased. The increase in profits will be followed by an increase in the size of receivables. So if the firm wants to increase their profits, then definitely they will increase the size of receivables. If they want to get less amount of profits, rather than we can say that getting more amount, if they focus on some liquidity, then here the profits will be less. So here that means to increase their profits, they can offer more size of receivables. If they want to operate, or if they want to get less amount of profit, then the size of receivables will be less. And the next one is credit collection efforts. See, the collection of credit should be streamlined. So after making the credit sales, the firm should focus on collection of, we can say that, credit. The customers should be sent periodical reminders if they fail to pay in time. Efficient credit collection machinery will reduce the size of receivables. If these efforts are slower, than outstanding amount will be more. See here, an efficient credit collection policy will reduce the size of receivables. So here the firm intention is they have to collect as soon as early possible. If there is a lenient, or if there is a delay in the collection of collection of receivables, then the size of receivables will be more. So if they collect as soon as early possible, then the size of receivables will be less. So that is why the reason here, if these efforts are slower, ఒకవేళ మనం కలెక్షన్ ఎఫర్ట్స్ అనేది స్లో చేస్తాం అనుకోండి, ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఏమవుతుంది, ద అవుట్ స్టాండింగ్ అమౌంట్స్ విల్ బీ మోర్. ఇఫ్ ద కలెక్షన్ మెషినరీ ఈజ్ ఎఫిషియంట్, మనం కలెక్షన్ మెషినరీ అనేది ఎఫిషియంట్గా చేస్తాం అనుకోండి, దెన్ ద సైజ్ ఆఫ్ రిసీవబుల్స్ విల్ బీ రెడ్యూస్డ్. సో హియర్ the size of receivables depends upon the credit collection efforts. If you put more efforts, then the size of receivables will be reduced. If you don't put more efforts on the collection, then the size of receivables will be more. And the last one, that is habits of customers. So here generally there are different types of customers are there in the market. Some of the customers, they may be in the habit of delaying payments even though they are financially sound. కొంతమంది దగ్గర డబ్బులు ఉన్నా కానీ ఏం చేస్తారంటే వాళ్ళు దే విల్ మేక్ పేమెంట్ late, or we can say that they will show delay in the payment of bills. So that is why the reason the concern should remain in touch with the customers and should make them realize the urgency of their needs. So here we have to understand the habits of customers. So those who are able to pay according to the time, so we have to realize them to pay the receivables as soon as early possible. So here the firm should send reminders for such type of customers periodically. So here these are the different factors which influences the size of receivables. Here see size of credit sales, and second one is credit policies, and third one is terms of credit, fourth one expansion plans, and fifth one relation with profits, sixth one credit collection efforts, and seventh one habits of customers. So this is what about part 1 of receivables management. In the next video we will discuss policies for receivables management, concept of factoring, okay, and factoring process. Thank you.